I'm Stephanie from Rearview Rhonda.
And I'm David from The Devil Lettuce.
We're excited to share the noise coming out of this town.
This is Noise and Nonsense, a podcast about the bands playing your favorite house shows, DIY venues, or melting faces at the local bar down the street.
These are the bands you should know, the ones killing it locally in rock, punk, metal, all local, all killer.
Support your local scene.
Let's dive in.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good.
I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, today we have Ömen Killer coming into the studio.
Nice.
And Achilles from Ömen Killer and I are about to take a trip down to New Orleans and see Acid Bath, one of their influences.
Fun. Didn't you say Ömen Killer is Achilles is in
Yes.
The Devil Lettuce?
Yep.
Nice.
Achilles, we steal him from time to time from Ömen Killer. And yeah, he's coming up on his year anniversary in the band.
Oh, nice.
As I make all the noise in the world for us. Yeah, they just got done recording a studio. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit with our, well, as of this recording, our most recent guest, Tucker from Throne of Iron. And they just did a WFHB local live, but they didn't play, but they sat in the studio still.
Okay.
Yep, their guitarist got really sick.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I thought I saw that on their Instagram page but they didn't play. They just went in and sat. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
They went and sat in. They're going to go back and play soon. Which I don't know when this episode will air, but you have a live coming up as too.
Yeah. May 5th, we have a WFHB local live, and if I read their newsletter correctly, I think they videotaped their Firehouse sessions now, so they have like a YouTube channel.
Cool.
So I think that's the one we're doing.
Yep. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'll be pretty bringing it in WFHB, starting to be a little KEXP vibe going.
Yeah. It's really they've really expanded like the genres that they're playing. There's that Radio Regazio now. The punk show. I can't remember. There was a metal show. I think it's on Friday nights now.
Okay.
I'd have to look more.
Yeah.
It's real good.
Yeah, we the Radio Regazza host reached out, and I believe they also have the Gold Dust Vinyl shop. Yeah, so they reached out and we're playing in May. That's as awesome. Well at the record store. So.
Oh yeah. I haven't gone. I need to go. But I saw their setup for one of the bands in it. Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, and I'm pretty excited.
Maybe I won't be at Grandpa for that one.
It's early. It starts at 8, I think.
Oh
so.
yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool little spot too. You ever been in the store?
I haven't yet. I've stopped by twice, and my timing has not been has not gone along with their timing.
Yeah.
So
it's a super cool little shop.
Yeah, I need to check it out.
They posted a flannel like over the winter, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, hold that for me, I'm coming to get it.
Yeah.
It actually fits me. I'm a very large human.
Yeah.
Please hold that, I'll be there. And I went and grabbed it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Flannels are cool.
Yeah. Vintage flannels are cooler.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's get into this episode.
Yeah. Let's welcome Ömen Killer. And on this episode, we welcome Ömen Killer.
What's up? Dun, dun, dun.
So who do we have today here from Ömen Killer?
I'm Jeremy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Achilles.
I'm Leonidas Machiavelli, and I am the drummer.
Yeah. What do you like
I play a guitar. That's Achilles talking.
I am the vocalist.
That's Mike.
I'm Jeremy. I play guitar.
I know that we were saying what we did.
Yep. And who were we missing from the band?
We are missing Tommy Boreski, the bass player of bass players, our geezer butler to our Ozzy and Bill Ward.
Awesome. So y'all are John Carpenter themed Doom. Where did that concept come from, and how are you relating it to his work?
It came from me in probably December 2022, it was snowing real bad. It was like the first real bad snow we got. Couldn't go to work. So I was, smoking and playing guitar, and I threw on the thing, as you do when it has that first crazy snow. And then I just played a open drop G sharp chord while watching the thing, and just one thing kind of led to another in my brain, and I was like, oh, this one's going to be about the thing.
I have a question, Achilles. What prompted you to use that extremely low tuning?
I was listening to a lot of Conan and honestly, Meshuggah, which we don't sound a thing alike, but I really like that just low. So, drop G sharp got me kind of close to that sound, and yeah.
G sharp for Jen.
And then eventually we got Jeremy and Danny, and Mike and I had already settled on the thing with a couple other people we were jamming with, but then we got asked to do a sleep cover band
For Buffy prom.
for Buffy prom, and Danny had joined us in jamming on the thing, and then eventually Jeremy did, and then I was like, well, won't we just do 2 more songs and name them after the other 2 movies in the Apocalypse trilogy? And yeah, everybody's kind of on the same wavelength. We all thought that was pretty baller, so I don't know. Anybody have anything else to add to that? I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff.
I'd like to say that I feel like on top of sounding like giant kaiju stomping on the earth as our sound, it's definitely from They Live, that 7-minute fight scene. I feel like that's kind of the basis of all of our songs, just like beating ass in an alleyway.
Yes, very much so.
I feel like the true genesis to like the thing that we do is probably the song Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that like Danny said, or Leonidas, I mean, we do just I think try our best to sonically convey the feeling of John Carpenter's movies. I would tend to describe the song, specifically The Thing, as it sounds like a giant monster loping through like this blizzard, and you can kind of just barely see its like silhouette through the snow, and you just know, that you're screwed. And so it's interesting for me to like try and write lyrics to that because I try to I write the lyrics after I've already heard what they're doing, after they've mostly worked the structure of the song out. And I think it's kind of challenging to try and write lyrics about movies. I know it's like a very classic metal tradition, but I try my best to avoid just like summarizing the plot because I don't think that works very well in the context of most metal songs. I mean, like, Bruce Dickinson can do that, and like Scott Walker can do that, but like I can't do that. I don't sound that good, and also not that smart. So I'm really interested in like adaptations of like between different media, like say adapting a Stephen King novel into a movie, and how most of those suck, and how in order for it to not suck, you kind of have to make the adaptation different but retain the emotional core. So I think, I think we try to do that with John Carpenter's movies, basically, and just translate them into heavy-ass ignorant metal songs, because those are the most metal movies ever made.
Now, how do you get inspiration for your lyrics as you're writing them? Do you reference a certain media, or...
Yeah, I do directly reference parts. It's a mixture of like directly referencing the movie and also like having a certain perspective on the movie and like trying to present that in a context that is unique to us. And I also just like pull stuff out of the air sometimes. I'll just be like, we'll be jamming at practice and I'll be yelling, and then I'll like come up with something like I'll come up with something that, for lack of a better word, just sounds really hard, and then I'll just be like, all right, that's going in the song. So, for example, in the middle of the thing, we have this fast thrashy part where I'm repeatedly screaming "Stranger in the Sky," and that actually started as "Strangling the Sky," but then the first time we played that song live, our buddy Noah misheard it as "Stranger in the Sky," and I was just like, all right, that's going in the song. And that sounds a lot better. Like, that's like creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's developed.
You can't strangle the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but it's hard.
Yeah, it's like, and like the thing is an alien, so and it's also a stranger, so it's like from the sky. But I'm getting too sidetracked there. That's just a really like cool thing that I wanted to scream into a microphone. So,
Nice. So how many times do you like watch a movie that you're writing lyrics to?
I honestly like try to not rewatch them too much because I want to like retain like I want to retain just like the memory of the movie and like just kind of work off of like the sort of like vibe of it in my mind,
Tension of watching the thing for the first time, unmatched. Like,
Absolutely.
super scary, disturbing. But like the pacing of it just like makes it fun and just like there's never a dull moment. Always getting creepier. No, the ante keeps slowly just getting worse and worse. Things keep getting more dire. So
do you guys have like band practice night and then movie night?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We have what we call an Ömen Killer.
Sometimes practice turns into an Ömen Killer. Like
Nice.
Like last practice was. We watched
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, Big Trouble in Little China.
I tussle for Russell.
Yeah, you can expect a song about that.
Yeah, Jack Burton and his 6-demon bag.
We've gone through some of the lyrical concepts. How do you all come up with songs as a whole?
Well, I guess the best way we can describe it is like either we'll kind of write one ourselves. So I did The Thing, and I'm doing Halloween. Jeremy did Prince of Darkness. Danny's doing
I guess we're just doing like,
Escape from New York.
yeah.
Yeah, so we got, if we're jamming together, like last time, we came up with a cool riff, and we were like, all right, well, what movie does that make you think of? I think last time we all just kind of said They Live.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, it wasn't not John Carpenter necessarily, but like the inspiration for the opener of Prince of Darkness was that old song "Die Zyra."
Yep, that's right.
The ending of The Shining and Melvin's
Wendy
song.
Carlos.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep, that's the one. Yeah, that and
Testicular balls?
tubular balls. Yeah.
Did you say testicular balls?
Yeah, tubular.
Okay, tubular bells.
Tubular bells.
Yeah.
from the Exorcist, and it's not all just John Carpenter. It's just kind of like adjacent stuff too. Whatever like creates riff.
So who are some of your like musical influences, like besides like some of the horror theme that might have directed you to this style?
I think we better go down a line for that one.
All right, so for this particular project, I pull very heavily from bands like Conan, Melvins, and High on Fire. Also, those three bands definitely are massive influences on me playing this genre. Also, I definitely pull a lot from like Bong Ripper or pretty much anything with a bong or goat in the name. If it's really slow, like this is actually so like I've played punk bands for years and it's always been fast, go, and this is the first time I've really been able to just go slow and lay back. So like as much as I give rhythm, I give lots of space.
Black Sabbath, of course. High on Fire, Sleep, Acid Bath. Then a lot of faster stuff too. Like there's a lot of '90s death metal, Deicide, Death, Cannibal Corpse, Barnes and Corpse Grinder era, Morbid Angel, and then like even some thrash metal. Obviously, like I said earlier, Meshuggah. I pull from a lot. Mastodon, and I even get Mastodon. I even get into situations where it's like oh, this is kind of cool sounding. Do I want to like put this in Ömen Killer or show it off to the Devil Lettuce or just maybe not do anything with it? And then I also do backing vocals.
Yeah, so I think for my part, I am vocally very inspired by, I would say, like death doom and like sludge metal a lot. So vocally, I'm pulling a lot from stuff like Disembowelment and Neurosis. And also, yeah, Conan again for like my more shouty parts. But I would also say that like I try to like I definitely pull a lot. I pull a bit from like black metal and death metal. I would especially name Doug Moore from Piron and J.R. Hayes from Pig Destroyer as big vocal influences on me. I'm not half the lyricist either of those guys are, but you know, I try my best. Also, speaking lyrically, I really, really love just like cheesy thrash and death metal from like the 80s. It's just based on like pulp fantasy. So on that front, or not even necessarily from the 80s, because honestly, the band that made me want to start writing metal lyrics was Ghoul, and I love Ghoul because they're so goofy and just they like don't take themselves that seriously, but they create this very vivid world of just this like ridiculous horror universe. And I would also say that like bands like Demolition Hammer and Dream Death are pretty influential on me on that front, because like they just they'll just like have a 8-minute or 6 to 8 minute song about like a Neanderthal eating people, or like a guy discovering that the society is controlled by a cult of snake men, stuff like that. So I think Ömen Killer is very much a band in that tradition.
Yeah, my approach is to kind of like try to not so much like emulate any of the influences that we just mentioned, but to kind of think like what the cadence of like the song would be. And like sometimes I'll take influence from stuff from like Merciful Fate, King Diamond, like stuff that's like supposed to tell a story, because at the end of the day, like all of the movies are just stories. And so if you use the song structure to tell a story, you can reference like certain like kind of like cinematic type of bands, that are also trying to accomplish a similar thing. So I would say for death metal influences, one that we didn't mention was Asphyx. I really like that super heavy, but like, kind of fast, kind of slow kind of sound. I like variation in sound. I think it's kind of like an ADHD kind of thing where I just like can't decide if I want like a song to be slow or fast, So, yeah, it keeps things fun. Yep. So, having variety, yeah, and it is tough. Mm-hmm.
Why I listen to Acid Bath, some random ass shit.
Tough.
Well, all those influences have led to y'all just recording with one of our past guests, Tucker, out at Mega Dungeon. Yeah.
The Mega Dungeon.
How was that experience, and what were you all trying to accomplish with this album?
So our goal was to make one of the heaviest albums to have ever come out of Bloomington, Indiana, and like I just said, we are now in murder mode obese, as he put it. It was very befitting. We went out and recorded like right after one of the big snowstorms, so it was a very tundra-esque experience.
Tucker also lives next to a Hux, and that was incredible.
Dude, that guy is gas station rich.
Yeah,
he's
gas
got two of
station
them.
rich in Bloomfield. Hux, honestly, we couldn't have done this album without Hux.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. And I was hungry as shit after my first couple takes. So I had to go over and get some roller dogs.
Sandwiches.
Oh, chicken sandwiches. Yeah.
Freaking, liters of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, like if I could describe the vibe, it was basically a bunch of stoned dudes and some cats in a 70s wood-paneled basement lined with posters for like Manowar and like Conan, both the band and the Barbarian, recording, just spending 10 straight hours eating Doritos and recording nasty ass riffs.
Yeah, you guys just gave like Hux like prime like gold material for a commercial. If they don't take it, it'll be their loss, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just wrote out the storyboard right there for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they give us a shout out or like some free spicy chicken sandwiches,
we could
that's all that I require.
Yeah, we could do like a Red Fang style video where we're just like trying to get, sponsored by Hux.
Yes.
It's like, playing rock and roll in the back, eating chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
My friend has a blues band, and he literally tagged Jenny Cream Ale and everything. Like, we love Jenny Cream Ale. We love Jenny Cream Ale so much that they message him like, "Hey, you're going to come out and play this festival out at the brewery."
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
pretty sweet.
We need to shill harder.
I'd give him a shout out, but he's a asshole.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, by the way, we're actually sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends now. Ömen Killer brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. It's available on mobile and a bunch of different heroes. I skip through these parts of the YouTube video, so I can't parody this that effectively.
I mean, good enough for a giggle. What do you all have like a song or a riff or an artist that really like when you were little you're like, yeah, I want to play music. That's
Man,
what I want to do.
No question about it.
What was it about Sabbath?
Have you listened to Iron Man before?
Yes.
Okay, then you should know. It's the single greatest
Understood.
riff ever created.
Yeah.
Episode 1, Map 1 from the original Doom.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was when I knew that metal was for me. I mean, it wasn't like guitar; it was all MIDI. But it was. I don't know. I didn't have access to a lot of metal then, so having. I think I was like 5 when that game came out on Super Nintendo. So, yeah, that was what got me into metal.
I wouldn't say they're that much of an influence on this band, but Iron Maiden, I was introduced to Iron Maiden at a very early age. I partially exist because of them. If I am remembering correctly, my parents first talked to each other because one or both of them was wearing an Iron Maiden shirt. I was... one of my earliest childhood memories is my dad turning on the song Aces High while driving me to preschool. I remember being really obsessed with that song. And for some reason, I asked him a load of questions like, does this band have a keyboardist? I specifically remember asking that question. The answer is not on this album. But Bruce Dickinson definitely made me want to be a performer when I was a wee small lad.
So as much as I had listened to Zeppelin, Sabbath, and I think Nirvana really inspired me to get into drumming. I had always played in punk bands. I had been into new metal a little bit, but I think it was around 2010 or 2012. I walked into a house show here in Bloomington, Indiana, and there was a 2-piece doom metal band called Beast in the Field. Their track, self-titled track, Beast in the Field, is just a 6 or 7 minute banger. They're a 2-piece. They had a giant wall. Their drummer is a enormous man who would pick people up and put them into the subwoofers and baptize you. You have now become part of the Beast in the Field. And after I got baptized, laying in that subwoofer for like the 30 seconds and having like my entire essence rumbled out of my face, I immediately went home and detuned my guitar. Even though I'd been a drummer completely and wholly up to this point, I went home and detuned my guitar into a very weird and low tuning and started to immediately write and found a drummer and did my own 2-piece thing for a hot minute. You never heard of Beast in the Field?
No, the band that you did.
Oh yeah, we were called ED.
ED.
Yeah. It was very massive, like Melvin's Worship. I mean, a lot of my stuff is Melvin's Worship, but yeah, it was kind of like Civilized Worm tuning, but yeah, like it had a lot more. It had a little bit more like alternative influences, like so the things were like really like dark and pretty, and then they would just erupt into this big like moshy, like thunderous, like stomping sound.
That's wild. Did y'all make any recordings?
Yeah, we have one full length called Velocity Minute that has like 12 tracks, a hidden track, two like really long noise tracks, and then we did an EP called 8=D, which is a penis if you draw it on a calculator.
Oh.
Actually, it was probably one of the most ate up covers of anything I've ever done, where I got really really intoxicated one night and drew this. I'd been having these conversations at the Bishop with people from the university about Viking lore for whatever reason, and this one guy, and I was deep in my coffers, and he really got. I never ever fact checked this, but I'm just going to go with it's true. That apparently on top of eating handfuls of psychedelic mushrooms before they'd go into battle, apparently Vikings would sometimes also detrowel and cause themselves to have very large erections as a further form of intimidation. So after having this long drunken conversation, I went home and drew a very drunken third grader style scenery of all these naked Vikings pillaging, bricked up, pillaging, but most importantly, one in the forefront with an axe in one hand and a head in another, for whatever reason looking a lot like Macho Man Randy Savage, with just an enormous nondescript penis sticking out. And then I flipped all the colors and made it as psychedelic as possible. Anyway, that was a 6-song EP that we recorded also at Farm Fresh that had a... it's a really frustrating jam for me because it was a 45-minute we just went for it thing, and we never did anything with it. We basically broke up as a band afterwards. But ever since I did that, and it was like one of those things where like that band, I had really never listened to the genre that we were playing in the depth that I have now. And it's just like now I go back and I listen to all these songs that I love, and it's just like from nowhere, I just pulled out all these elements from all these other bands in this one like 45-minute jam that we never flushed or whatever. But anyway, that's that story.
That's wild. Did you know that Vikings also liked to fart on each other when they would trip?
If you see in the background, there's some stick figures farting on each other.
Oh, nice. So you knew about that. I guess that's common knowledge.
Mushroom farts too.
Whoa.
Spirit farts.
Spirit farts, yeah.
They're just like just satiating each other with each other's smelly spirit energy. Anyway, I'm going to pass it to Mike now.
Yeah, you won't hear that in an Amon Amarth song.
So you mentioned you weren't super familiar with the genre. Is there anything that you all are listening to that might surprise, like someone like a different genre of musician that has nothing to do with like doom or metal or got any pop secrets?
I would say it's metal adjacent, just because of the person doing it is from Mastodon.
Mm-hmm.
But Fiend Without a Face, it's like this rockabilly. They wear like pantyhose over their faces, so you can't really see them, and they wear fezzes, and it's just evil hillbilly music. And I like a lot of old, dirty country, just really depressive shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I like a lot of '90s like rap too, like really aggressive sounding rap. Yeah, it all is all kind of doomy though. It all eventually leads back to death and destruction.
There was a band playing at the Orbit Room that it was just like a couple nights ago. I forget what they're called. I don't know. I work there, and so many bands come through there. They did a Joni Mitchell cover of a song called Coyote, and I really like that album, the Hedgera album. So yeah, I like Joni Mitchell. Some people might be surprised to hear that, but I mean, my dad is from like the same like time and place as like the Grateful Dead. So I mean, it kind of rubs off on me a little bit. I like Jefferson Airplane and stuff like that. Neil Young. Yeah, just big fan of classic rock. Zeppelin. It's probably a little bit more adjacent to metal, but I really like prog. I really like the Genesis album Foxtrot. Yeah, that's a great album. Rush. We're all huge Rush fans. Big Rush fans. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually think that I probably listen to more non-metal stuff than metal right now, but what seeps as an influence into all of my stuff is probably like Scott Walker. I'm trying to emulate him in one way or another, regardless of what style or genre that I'm doing. And I just think that he's one of the most brilliant artists to ever live, and he's my favorite singer of all time. And you can really pick any era of Scott Walker, whether it's like the really early, like almost like lounge crooner, like pop stuff, or his later music, which is just hell. It's not any genre; it's just hell. And like he has this incredible range that I could never hope to match, but like I think his lower register baritone voice is a big influence on my clean singing, and I also really love him as a lyricist. I think he was a really great poet who wrote all these like really dark satirical songs about just like the dregs of humanity, even when he was still making like fairly accessible pop music. On that same note, I've been really into this band called Country Teasers lately, who are kind of like a really, I would describe them as like, they're like a sort of post-punk, sort of like
no wave,
yeah, noise rock adjacent. I would describe them as like a rowdier version of The Fall, which is a band I honestly don't care that much for, but I like Country Teasers better. But yeah, their frontman, he has a really great deadpan voice, just like a soft English accent. He's just singing these like absolutely outrageous lyrics. They're like first-person narratives from the perspective of just like absolutely despicable loser characters. He's hilarious. And then, yeah, the last thing that I want to mention before I hand the mic over, because I could talk for days about this, is just go down the list, is This Heat. So This Heat's another British band from like the 80s who are like very extremely heavy and dark music without really being metal influenced in any way at all. They were contemporaries of like Joy Division and bands like that, but they were writing all these songs about like nuclear war and suicide and like just war crimes, and like their sound is really hard. I would also say that they're another band whose genre it's just hell. Anyway, This Heat is like the most my core band ever, and especially their self-titled album from 1979 is a candidate for my favorite album of all time.
Yeah, non-metal influences are like things that I would listen to. I'm really into like trip hop, soul, things with rhythmically heavy. Big fan of like stuff like Budos Band, The Meters. Really into stuff like Venetian snares. And then I have a few like one of my probably the song I probably unsuspectingly love so much that no one would ever think is Nina's 99 Red Balloons. I'm not sure why, but I've just always, ever since I heard that song for the first time, that is like I'll start singing it, just break out into it.
Awesome.
Jeremy should mention Led Zeppelin, and I got to shout them out. Well, not necessarily them. I don't listen to them as much as I used to. I got to shout my dad out for naming me after one of their songs.
Oh, yeah.
Achilles' Last Stand.
One of the greatest songs, yeah.
Thank you, Dad, for being cool and liking good music and naming me after something cool instead of naming me something fucking lame like Greg.
How many G's would that be? Was that be 3 G's? 3G Greg?
3G
There's
Greg.
2 Gregs in the family, both with 1 G, so I think I would be a 2G Greg just to differentiate.
All right.
As of May 15th, this is going to air. Do you guys have any shows coming up?
We will be in Lafayette at the Waste Management on May 23rd. And then we will be in Kokomo, Indiana on July 12th at Outhouse Records. And then we'll be joining the Devil Lettuce at the Mag Bar in August 29th.
Awesome. Where can people find you all?
Currently, we have a couple YouTube videos up, and we have our very first set on Bandcamp. But we, like we talked about earlier, we have just recently finished recording an album, and we will hopefully have further mixes soon. And then we'll definitely be out on streaming services and Bandcamp, and hopefully, if our little community pulls together, hopefully we'll get it out on vinyl, because I think that's our dream goal at this point.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate y'all coming in and spending some time with us.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Check out my other band, The Devil Lettuce, too.
Oh yeah, you could do that. Yeah, thank you for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Noise and Nonsense Podcast. If you're interested in being a guest, hit us up on Instagram or shoot us an email at noiseandnonsencepodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.